Okay, let's just state the obvious. We are deep in the middle of an AI revolution, right? And our relationship with technology, well, it's getting more and more complex every single day. To really get a handle on this new world, it turns out we don't just need better tech, we need a better way to think about it. So today, we're going to dive into a really powerful new framework for doing just that. It's called Anthrocybernetics.
So let's kick things off with a question I bet you've asked yourself more than once. Ever get that weird feeling your social media feed knows what you want before you even do? Or that your streaming recommendations aren't just suggesting things, but are kind of shaping your tastes? Yeah, those aren't just coincidences. They're actually really powerful feedback loops. And that fundamental question, who's really in control here? That's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
All right, so to really understand this incredibly complex relationship, we can't just look at the tech in one corner and the human in the other. It just doesn't work that way. We've got to bring two powerful fields of study together to see the whole picture.
So, on one side, you've got anthropology. That's pretty straightforward, right? It's the study of us, humans, our societies, our cultures, all our weird and wonderful behaviors. Then, on the other side, you have cybernetics. Now, this one might be a little less familiar, but it's basically the study of systems. How any system, whether it's a machine or a living thing, uses information and feedback to steer itself and get things done. Okay, so what happens when you smash these two fields together? What do you get when you take all those ideas about systems and feedback from cybernetics and you apply them directly to the human experience, especially in our super technological world? Well, you get something totally new, a really powerful concept. And that concept is Anthrocybernetics. It's a framework for studying humans as if we are cybernetic systems ourselves. I mean, the name itself tells you everything you need to know. It comes from the Greek words anthropos, which means human, and kybernetes, which means steersman or pilot. So it's all about how we steer ourselves through the world, and crucially, how the very systems we've built are in turn steering us. And that's the key takeaway right there. This isn't just a one-way street where humans use machines. No, it's about co-evolution. Think of it like a dance. It's this constant back and forth, where the feedback we get from our tech shapes us, and how we change then shapes the next generation of tech. We're in it together. Okay, so this engine of co-evolution sounds pretty big and abstract. How does it actually work in our day-to-day lives? Let's break it down with an example I think we can all relate to. This feedback loop is really the heart of the whole thing. So, step 1, you do something. You post a photo or a comment online. Step 2, the system reacts. The algorithm sees what kind of engagement you get and starts showing you more of that kind of stuff. Step 3, your behavior changes. You notice what works, what gets likes, and maybe your psychological state even shifts a little. You start posting more of what the system seems to want. And step 4, the loop just keeps going. It gets tighter and tighter as the system learns you, and at the same time, you're learning the system. You know, to really nail this idea down, let's step away from all the complex AI stuff for a second and use a classic, super simple analogy from the world of cybernetics itself, the humble thermostat. And this is where you see the huge difference. See, standard cybernetics, which is study the thermostat itself, how it measures the temperature, how it turns the heat on and off to stay at a set temperature, it's all about the machine. But Anthrocybernetics asks different questions. It looks at the human in the loop. It asks, why did you pick that temperature in the first place? How does that warmth make you feel? Does it make you more productive or sleepy? And it even asks, how might you invent an even smarter thermostat to better fit your life? It puts the anthropos, the human, right back in the center of the equation. So if you look at how it stacks up against some related fields, you can see it has a really unique job. It's not as super broad as general cybernetics, which looks at all systems. It's not as specific as biocybernetics, which is all about our internal biology. And it's way deeper than something like ergonomics, which is more about, is your chair comfortable? Anthrocybernetics is really in that perfect sweet spot, focusing specifically on that deep, messy, and fascinating integration of our social lives and our technology. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. Why does any of this matter, especially right now? And the answer is pretty simple and pretty urgent. It's because we are building these powerful feedback loops into absolutely every corner of our lives, and AI is the engine driving it all. I mean, just think about it. The social media algorithms that shape what we all talk about, the AI systems that influence huge financial markets, even that wearable on your wrist that nudges you to walk more, that's a tiny, personal cybernetic loop that's literally changing how you regulate your own body. It's everywhere. And what this framework gives us is a lens, A set of tools to actually analyze, to question, and maybe, just maybe, to design these incredibly powerful systems a little more wisely.
So all of this, it really leads us to one final and pretty profound question. We've seen that this whole thing is a process of co-evolution, right? We're in this constant feedback loop with the technology we create. So the big question for our future is, where is this loop actually taking us?
See, the old question was always, what will we do with our machines? But Anthrocybernetics flips the script. It forces us to ask something much, much deeper. What kinds of humans are these machines helping to create? Because as we design our AI, as we write our algorithms, we are, in a very, very real sense, designing the future of what it means to be human. And that is a thought worth holding on to.